Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. We live with it. We live with it. Brr. Just send the link out, so just give me a minute, and then we'll get into the show. Because I only know about the first half of the games. I didn't really see the rest of the games because I was doing stuff. Okay, let me get on. Okay, let me get onto the stuff. Try to make this as quick as possible for everybody. But I know I'm hyped for see these scores of these games to see what's going on. And from what I'm already looking at, it's looking like we got some upsets brewing. Let's go to the scores. Let's see. Make myself smaller. But let's just see what the hell. Wrong thing moving. Let's just see what the hell has been going on in college football. So let's get off of the top 25. Let's just go to regular FBS and see what's been going on with the games. Let's see. Let's see what has been going on with the games. See who's been winning, who lost, who sucks. We'll figure it out. We're going to go back, skip past the games that are live right now just to see what's been going, the final scores of these games. So we had SMU, who went into the game 1-0. They only played one game going up against Maryland. This was a game a lot of people were talking about. I saw on social media, on Instagram, on Reddit, on Twitter. I saw a lot of people talking about this game, that it's a very underrated game. And from what I'm seeing, it lived up to the hype. It looks like SMU was leading this. And then in the fourth quarter, Maryland came back and scored. It looked like it was 27-20 going into the fourth quarter. And then Maryland scored 14 points. 2 TDs in the fourth quarter. We had Mardicia? I can never say his name right. SMU's quarterback had 369 yards, 3 TDs. Then we go to our next game. We got the number 1 team in the country, Georgia, the Dogs, going up against South Carolina, the Gamecocks. Can't say the other word that their nickname is, because I'll get in trouble. But we got Georgia number 1 They're trying to improve 3-0, and they just completely dominated. Stetson Bennett led Georgia in rushing and passing. He is their quarterback. He returned for his 5th year, I believe. But 284 yards, 2 TDs, 36 rushing yards, and 1 rushing touchdown. Damn, that's a good-ass game. And Georgia destroyed the Gamecocks 48-7. I just saw a thing on Instagram. Let me see if I can find it again. That Georgia has outscored their opponents this season. Yeah, I felt like I was living in last year, because last year I swear I saw the same damn edit that I saw this year already, and it's just giving me flashbacks of last year for this Georgia team. We were all thinking that this defense wasn't going to be all that. Well, I think we was wrong. I think we misjudged Georgia. They've already, through 3 games, Georgia has outscored their opponents 130 points to 10. What? That's just that wow. That the defending champs they're here to win. Jesus. But Georgia improves to 3-0, and South Carolina falls to 1-2. And they're 0-2 in the SEC. Georgia opened up the SEC with the win against South Carolina because they're in the same conference. But let's see our next game. We have the number 2 team, Alabama. Yeah, you heard me right. Alabama's is number 2. Georgia passed them up already this year. And Alabama went up against UL Monroe. This should never have even been a game. I don't even know why the hell Alabama got them scheduled on their schedule. I'm sorry, Bama. This is not even a good game. This is just embarrassing if I'm an Alabama fan of winning this big against a team that I think in the last 10 years has like 15 wins or 20 wins or something like that. That's just embarrassing. Personally, I think that's a cupcake, and I know that Michigan played UConn, but I'm not going to lie. UConn isn't as bad as they were last year. They're a little bit better than they were last year. They're not crazily like top 25 good, but they're not terrible. But Bama beats UL Monroe 63-7. They were winning 28-0 in the end of the first quarter. Bryce Young, 236 yards, 3 TDs. Just a good game for him. Only missed 5 passes. Then we go to our number 3 team in the country, Ohio State, going up against Toledo. In holy Toledo, we had Ohio State score 77. Jesus Christ. C.J. Stroud, 5 TDs, 367 yards. Egbuka, I can never say his name right. I apologize. 7 receptions, 116 yards, 1 TD. Ohio State came to play in Toledo. I mean, they were scoring they scored a touchdown every single quarter. I mean, good for them. But it looks like Ohio State's offense has gone in stride. Just like the number 4 team in the country, Michigan. Their offense has gotten in to stride, especially with Corum, running back, 5 TDs and only 71 yards and only 12 carries. So I believe, I'm trying to do the math. So that's 7 carries that he didn't have a touchdown. 5 of his carries were touchdowns. And only had 71 yards and 5 TDs. That's crazy numbers right there. That's got to be a record breaker or some shit. But then we got Oklahoma, the number 6 team in the country, with Dylan Gabriel at quarterback, leads them against Nebraska on the road and beats Nebraska easily, 49-14. Oklahoma improves to 3-0. Nebraska falls to 1-3. First game without Scott Frost as head coach, and it's not looking good. I mean, Palmer for Nebraska went off, 10 receptions, 92 yards, 1 TD, but it just wasn't enough to stop Oklahoma. It wasn't. I'm sorry. Then we have Arkansas Pine Bluff going up against Oklahoma State, number 8 in the country. Oklahoma State puts up 28 plus 21, 49 points in the first quarter, or in the first half. 49-7 going into the half. Wow. That's just bad. Damn. I think it's 49. I could be wrong with my math. It's 2 plus 4. 2 plus 2 is 4. 1 plus 8 is 9. So, yeah, 49. So, I mean, 63-7. At least Arkansas Pine Bluff got a score. I mean, at least they got a score. Spencer Sanders, 242 yards, 4 TDs. My accent just came out there. I felt like I sounded like I was from Boston. 230 yards. Then we got Youngstown State going up against Kentucky, the number 9 team in the country. We was watching this game, you guys. This is one of the ones that we were watching because we were just caught off guard by how Youngstown State was actually keeping up. Yes, it's 31-0. They shut them out. But Youngstown State was actually giving them a decent fight from what we were seeing in our earlier show today. And be expecting a show like this every single day. Or not every single college football, every single Saturday. So every single Saturday morning. Unless I'm working, then I won't be doing the shows in the morning and then at night. But if I'm not working, this will be going on. More likely this will be probably start this at 9 next time. Today I got home late. But then we got Will Levis for Kentucky, 377 yards, 2 TDs. Damn. And then we got Missouri State going up against Arkansas. And from what I've seen, Missouri State kept it up with them. They was keeping up with them, with number 10 Arkansas. And Arkansas is really good this year. They have surprised a lot of people. And they were keeping up with them. They were leading at halftime. Going into halftime, it was 17-14. Missouri State was up. But then in the fourth quarter, Arkansas turned the heaters on, made it 21 points in the fourth. Damn. So good for Arkansas. They improved to 3-0. Missouri State gets their first loss of the year. They go to 2-1. Then we go to BYU versus Oregon. I picked BYU. My boy Tommy, Tsunami Talk, picked Oregon. And he was right. BYU just got destroyed. Oregon is playing for something much bigger. RIP Spencer Webb. Gone way too soon. So Oregon's playing for that. They just got off to a bumpy start, but it was a hard one for Oregon today. They were playing this whole season for something much bigger than anyone could ever grasp. They playing for one of their fallen teammates, and yeah, I feel like this season's going to be a little bit different for them. It's going to be a tough season. This was a really tough game from them. I think it was their first home game, in Eugene, Oregon. So they went out and balled out 41 points, beating BYU 41-20. That's going to drop BYU, I think, possibly, if not out the top 25, it's going to move them to 23-25, I think. Oregon, this is going to jump Oregon up to the top 20 to top 15. The way the people are that do the rankings, they're gonna, how do I say it? Stroke them. I think I can say that on YouTube. I forgot if I can or not. But they're going to stroke them and probably move them up to maybe even, who knows how the committee is. They're going to move them to 11, 12. They're going to switch they're going to switch rankings. Give Oregon 12 and then BYU 25. That's how the rankings are. That's how the dudes are. They suck. But we got number 15, Tennessee, going up against Akron. And LeBron couldn't help him this time, Akron. Sorry. He left y'all asses again. And Tennessee went out there and just dominated. Hendon Hooker, 298 yards, 2 TDs. Wow. 63-6. Tennessee improves to 3-0. And Akron falls to 1-2. Texas Tech versus NC State. I predicted this one right. I said NC State was going to win this. And Tommy said Texas Tech was going to win. They're going to keep in form. Well, they ain't keeping form. NC State improves to 3-0, beating Texas Tech 27-14. What a game for Sumo. Cannot say their full last name, so I'm just gonna say Sumo because I really can't say the rest of your name. I apologize, but it's Sumo K. Let's go with that. 4 receptions, 93 yards, and 1 TD. He is the running back for NC State, and he was doing that with the ball. Receiving, if you want the NFL scouts to pay attention to you nowadays. Then you got Texas State versus Baylor, number 17 Baylor. This is one that we were watching, keeping an eye on, because we were saying Lane Hatcher for Texas State went to Arkansas State led Arkansas to 8-5 seasons, 2 back-to-back 8-5 seasons, and then he transferred to Texas State and he was hoping to do the same thing he did at Arkansas State, which was get Arkansas State good and get into the bowls. But for right now, it's not really looking like they're going to do that, but they do play in the Sun Belt, and that is one of the harder conferences in the group of fives. You got Coastal, you got James Madison, you got Old Dominion, you got App State, Louisiana Raging Cajuns. That's a hard Sun Belt this year. And I feel like that's American and the Sun Belt are the two big group of fives I can see being the ones that compete with the Power Fives, and they are already doing that. I know that Texas State they went 42-7. I know that, but you guys know what I mean. Then we had Reese, running back for Baylor, 156 yards, 3 TDs. He did what he had to do. Then we had almost a big scare. Number 18 Florida almost went down to South Florida. The final score was 31-28. South Florida looked like they were going to win this. But South Florida falls and they go to 1-2. Florida avoided it and didn't go to 1-2. They are 2-1 now, but I do think that this does hurt their ranking. I think they will fall a little bit, but I think that we have to talk about this next game, Liberty versus Wake Forest. This was another one of those games that no one really was talking about that they got to talk to, because this was a game that a lot of people were looking over. They were just looking over Liberty. Liberty has a very good squad. This is shown right here. 36-37. They were coming back. They were going down into the half, down 20-8. They were coming back. They scored 15 points in the third quarter and let Wake Forest not even score a point. But then they allowed Wake Forest to score 17 points in the fourth quarter, and they only scored 13. And Liberty failed to get Wake Forest, falls to Wake Forest after 2-point conversion failed. They failed to get the 2-point conversion to try to win. And Sam Hartman, thank God he's back from injury. Thank God he's back for Wake Forest, because Wake Forest has a squad and they improved to 3-0, 19th ranked in the country as of now. Tomorrow we will get our rankings for the college football, and then I will get my rankings out Monday. Then we have Ole Miss going up against Georgia Tech. Ole Miss, number 20 in the country, 2-0. Georgia Tech's coming in 1-1. And Ole Miss just puts a statement out there saying they're here and they're going to have a good season. 42-0, shuts out the Yellow Jackets. Damn! Zach Evans transferred to TCU, running back, 18 carries, 134 yards, and 2 TDs. Lane Kiffin happy he got him. Then we go to Penn State versus Auburn. And Jesus Christ, ain't no one expect this. 41-12. Penn State is for real, you guys. Damn. Penn State, 41 points against Auburn. Wow. Penn State running back Nicholas Singleton had himself a game. 10 carries, 124 yards, and 2 TDs. Damn, he had a 54-yard TD too. I wish I could show the video, but I'm not getting taken down, because I did that once, and jeez, they took me down fast as hell. Like, I looked at my screen and I had my boy text me. He was like, yo, why is you not there no more? Because they took me down because I showed a video. I don't know. But then we got number 23, Pittsburgh. After losing Kenny Pickett to the Pittsburgh Steelers, they got Mario Addison, I believe it was. He left and went to USC. But that has not stopped Pittsburgh. Yes, they've already lost the game, but they went to Western Michigan, Kalamazoo, Michigan, and they beat them 34-13. And I can't say your name. Running back for Pittsburgh, I can't say it. I apologize. I really can't. 31 carries. They rushed the ball 31 times, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has turned into a running team. After last year being a huge passing team, they've turned into a running team. 31 carries, 133 yards, and 1 TD. And now we go down the line. And you guys already saw Virginia Tech beat Wofford 27-7. Then we have Missouri beat Albion Christian 34-17. Army, as you guys know from the earlier show, if you guys were watching, Army beat the number 5 team in FCS 49-10. They dominated. But I'm not sure if Villanova's quarterback got injured, because I don't remember Watkins being the quarterback for Villanova. But I think that's what happened. Then we had the Southern Illinois Salokin, I can't say their mascot. Damn. Going up against Northwestern. And you know what happened? You guys can see the score. Southern Illinois goes down there and wins. Nick Baker for Southern Illinois, 241 yards, 3 TDs. And we got to give credit where credit is due. We have Evan Hall, 25 carries, 124 yards, and 1 TD. But Southern Illinois came to Evanston, Illinois to win, and they did. Congratulations to Southern Illinois, FCS team beating a FBS team and a Power 5 FBS team too. Good for them. Then we got Syracuse going up against Purdue, and what a damn game we had here. Aiden O'Connell for Purdue, 424 yards, 3 TDs. Chris Jones for Purdue, 11 receptions, 188 yards. Purdue had a great day offensively, but they couldn't hold on to the lead. Going into half, you guys, it was 9-3. Purdue was winning. Then in the fourth quarter, both teams combined to score 42 points in the fourth quarter. 42 points in the fourth quarter. Damn. If you are a betting person and you bet the underline for the most points, you're pissed. You were pissed watching that fourth quarter. Because the defense said, we're going to stay on the sidelines. And you all just scored. But the final score is Syracuse goes to 3-0. And Purdue falls to 1-2. Syracuse, I'm going to give you guys a little sport. Syracuse, y'all in my top 25. I don't give a crap. You're in my top 25. Then you got Cincinnati versus Miami, Ohio. Cincinnati, it looked like it was going to be a scary one in the beginning. It looked like Miami was going to possibly pull off the upset. But Cincinnati, the Bearcats, doesn't allow that with Ben Bryant, quarterback at Cincinnati now. 337 yards, 2 TDs. He had himself a game. And then we go to Western Kentucky, you guys, versus Indiana. This was the game that we were watching. The game that we were watching the most. And damn, you guys, Western Kentucky couldn't do it. Indiana walks it off on a 51-yard shot. Field goal, you guys. And gives Western Kentucky their first loss of the year. Western Kentucky goes to 2-1. And Indiana improves to 3-0. Indiana looking pretty good. Then we have Coastal Carolina going up against Buffalo. Coastal Carolina not trying to get their first loss of the year. And Buffalo trying to get their first win of the year. But Buffalo loses again and goes to 0-3. Coastal Carolina goes to 3-0. And Grayson McCall had himself a game. Then Buffalo's quarterback, Snyder, 264 yards, 2 TDs, went off. Then Beasley, running back for Coastal, 89 yards and 1 TD. Coastal has not played a road game yet. All their wins have come at home, so will they be able to win on the road? That is the question that everyone is asking now, or I'm asking it. Can Coastal win? And I like Coastal. But can they win on the road? Will they keep this up? That is the question. Who will be the group of 5 team that is going to be who's going to be that group of 5 team this year? Who is it going to be? Who is it going to be? Coastal? Because it looks like Houston's done. I'm sorry, Houston. I put faith in you in fucking Nebraska, and y'all both screwed me over, you bastards. Then you got Central Michigan versus Bucknell. Central Michigan, we are going into the halftime like, what the hell is going on with Central Michigan? It was 7-0 going into half. I was in my head like, Central Michigan should be destroying Bucknell. Well, they did in the second half. 41-0. Central Michigan gets their first win of the year. Lou Nichols the third, 30 carries, 166 yards, and 2 TDs. 2. Not 1, not 3, but dose. 41-0. Then we got UCLA versus South Alabama, and damn, UCLA almost lost to South Alabama. UCLA is undefeated, 3-0. South Alabama gets their first loss on the year. And I feel bad for South Alabama, but not really, because y'all got a freaking close the game out. You let UCLA score 9 points on you in the fourth, and you didn't score none. What is going on? But still, running back for South Alabama, Webb, 124 yards, 1 TD. And congrats to UCLA for starting out 3-0. Haven't said that in a long time, I feel like. Then we got Iowa State going to 3-0 after beating Ohio 43-10. Then we go to Rutgers staying undefeated, barely, 16-14. Only had 1 TD. Only 1 TD. The rest was field goals for Rutgers. But Rutgers stays alive and goes 3-0 to 3-0. They are 2-0 on the road already this year. That is good if you are a Rutgers fan. Then we have Virginia going up against Old Dominion, and Old Dominion is 0-2 on the road, you guys, this season. Virginia improves to 2-1. Good for Virginia. They are 16. They win 16-14. Old Dominion goes to 1-2. We will have to see what they can do after. We can see what they do next week. We will look at next week's game too. Then we have Murray State versus Ball State. Ball State went into this both 0-2, and Ball State made sure they got their first win of the year by beating Murray State 31-0, shutting out Murray State. Damn, Murray State is 0-3 in the year and have lost both of their away games. Well, they lost all their games, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Then we got Notre Dame. Notre Fluffin' Dame. Their home opener. I'm a Notre Dame fan, first off. And I'll be straight up with everybody. We suck. Like, I don't care if we won. I don't care if we won. Right now, we don't look like the Fighting Irish. We look like the Fighting Drunk Irish. Like, we really do. We look like shit. Like, it's bad. Like, it's embarrassingly bad. I know Marcus Freeman. I love Marcus Freeman. I think he's gonna be he's gonna be a great coach. But he needs to get this young offense that we have, Notre Dame, get them going. Get them something. He had to get some billboard material to light a fire under their asses. Because it's just embarrassing to be a Notre Dame fan right now. Like, we got Brian Kelly down at LSU humping his players on the 360 camera, living his best accent-free life. Like, we gotta embarrass that dude. He left us for a reason. He's proven he left us for a reason. Like, we gotta show better. I'm not giving up on us, but I'm just saying, we looked like dog water. Complete dog water. But next week, I don't know who the hell we have. I will check later. But thank God Notre Dame got their first win of the year. 24-17. And wow, that is Pine threw for Notre Dame 2 TDs. So thank God we beat California to get our first win of the season. We needed that win. Thank God. Then we have Tulane versus Kansas State, and damn, Kansas State lost. No, my boy Jago the Great. No, they beat them 17-10. Gave Kansas State their first loss of the year. Michael Pratt for Tulane had himself a game. He was everywhere. Throws a 4-yard TD. His only TD of the game. 176 yards and 87 yards rushing. What a game for Tulane. They go 3-0 and get their first road victory of the year. Kansas State falls to 2-1. Still a great record so far. Right now, I think Kansas State is going to be in a pretty decent bowl this year. Then we go to Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt goes up against Northern Illinois. And Vanderbilt's quarterback, freshman A.J. Swan. 4 TDs, 255 yards. Holy sugar. Shepard for Notre Dame. For Vanderbilt, 171 yards and 2 TDs. Vanderbilt's offense is going off. Who the heck would have thought that Vanderbilt would have had a better record than Notre Dame going into week 4? Who would have thought? It's not even by 1 game. It's by 2. Notre Dame's 1-2. Vanderbilt's 3-1. What the hell? Just never thought. Vanderbilt, y'all deserve to be ranked. Screw it. I don't give a crap. Rank Vanderbilt and Syracuse. Do it. Because they deserve it. Y'all won't. I know damn well y'all won't. Because y'all don't. Y'all just money. Screw off. And Kansas. Do Kansas. UMass deserves to be ranked. They beat UMass. UMass beat Stony Brook 20-3. UMass got a... We'll talk about that. Then we got Minnesota going up against Colorado. Colorado has not looked good at all year. Minnesota is 3-0 now. They beat Colorado 49-7. Ibrahim coming back, running back after his Achilles injury last year, is being the difference maker. He deserves to get a look at for Heisman. 202 yards, 23 carries, 3 TDs. He was doing work. He was a workhorse. That was a struggling word. A workhorse. Jeez, that's a hard ass word to say. Workhorse. Say that 10 times fast. I'm not doing it. And just Minnesota's offense is clicking. There's a lot of teams that no one really expected to be to show this stuff yet, and I'm really caught off guard. Then we have Wisconsin going up against New Mexico State. New Mexico State going into this 0-3. Wisconsin's 1-1. Wisconsin says we ain't losing. 66-7. Graham Mertz, 251 yards, 3 TDs. Brendan Allen, who is a man-child. Jeez, he's a sophomore, and he looks like The Rock. He's built like he is gigantic, bruh. Like his shoulders, like they showed him without, like they showed a picture of him. It went on social media, went through all social media. His shoulders, he makes Mike Tyson's like neck look small. It's scary. Like that's not a running back. That's a tank. That is a full-blown man-child tank running full speed at you. That's just wrong. And scary. Then we had Skylar Bell for Wisconsin. 4 receptions, 108 yards, and 2 TDs. Then we had UMass. We finally did it. UMass won a game, and my boy Jordan Mahoney got a 95-yard pick 6 to the house. Let's go, bro. He went crazy with that 95 yards. 95. I want to watch the video. I want to show y'all the video of my boy going crazy, but I can't because they'll take me down. But he went crazy with that. That was awesome. Can't wait to go see them play football. Can't wait to go see my boys. And my boy Tommy's boy Elias Merriweather, 20 carries, 76 yards. He did what he had to do to help UMass get the victory against Stony Brook and get their first victory, and they got their home opening winner, 20-3. Then we had where college football game day was on ESPN today, Troy versus Appalachian State. And who wins this? Well, App State pulls off the miracle, Hail Mary at the end, and wow, what a game. This game lived up to the hype. App State is just destined. It's just amazing to see right now. App State, 32-28. The Sun Belt is just good. It's just disgusting, the Sun Belt. Oh my God. We got Appalachian State, 32-28. And they go to 2-1 in the year. Troy falls to 1-2. But that doesn't mean Troy's out. Troy still is going to make a bowl game, I think. Then we go to our next game. Georgia Southern, after coming off of that big victory versus Nebraska that got Scott Frost fired, going up against UAB. And UAB is like, yeah, it's not happening. We're going to give you your first loss of the year, Georgia Southern. I'm sorry, but not really. I don't really care. Screw you. I'm a dragon. Yes, UAB is their mascot, are the Trailblazers. They are a dragon. It's a cool-ass logo. Like, look at this logo. Like, look at UAB's logo. Like, look at this. This is just awesome. Like, they got a full-blown dragon. That's a dragon. That's cool. Like, I love it. I love it. I don't care if y'all don't. I do. It's cool as hell to me. But then we got Kansas versus Houston. And, well, I can't tell you what. Jeez, Kansas looking good. 48 points against Houston. Kansas is 3-0, you guys. 3-0. Vanderbilt's 3-1. UMass is 1-3. UConn is 1-2. Whatever. That's not the point. But who would have thought Duke, Kansas, Vanderbilt would have a better record than Notre Dame? Who would have thought that? Like, every expert right now is just befounded. I don't even think that's a word, but I'm making it a word. Befounded. That sounds really good. Sounds like a fun word. Befounded. I was befounded. But nah, this is a great thing to see for college football though, that you're seeing teams like Kansas, Vanderbilt actually showing that they have a good squad. That they can compete and they're building their squads up. Because the SEC, the Big 12, the Big 12 is really not a Big 12 no more. It's like the Big 4. But the Big 10, these power conferences are getting bigger and stronger. They're adding new teams to it almost every year, it seems like. So you don't want to be that laughing stock like Vanderbilt and Kansas has come to. And Kansas is showing that they are done with taking that pain. They are doing crazy. Their quarterback, Daniel, 23 rushing yards and 2 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback. Wow. Kansas is looking good, you guys. They believe they play Duke next week. Is it Kansas versus... Is it Duke? I don't know if Kansas plays Duke next week. We'll figure it out in a minute. We just got to keep going through these. Boise State beats UT Martin, improves to 2-1. Washington State with incarnate word transfer quarterback Cameron Ward, who no one expected him to go to Washington State. He went to Washington State and he is balling out. 292 passing yards and 4 TDs. Washington State is 3-0. Who would have thought that? Like, no one has been expecting these games to go the way they have. Then Marshall, after coming off of beating Notre Dame, lose to Bowling Green. That hurts Notre Dame. I just thought about... Damn! Notre Dame, y'all lost to a team that lost to Bowling Green. What the hell? Dog water, Notre Dame. Just dog water. Then, yeah, Duke improving to 3-0, beating North Carolina A&T 49-20. Kind of expected that. Then we have East Carolina going up against Campbell. East Carolina just destroys Campbell 49-10. Then we have Tulsa going up against Jacksonville State. Jacksonville State gets their first loss of the year. Tulsa picks up the big W with the 54-17 victory. And does that say 90 degrees at night in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Hold up. What is the temperature in Tulsa, Oklahoma? Damn it. Let's see what the it's 85 degrees there. It's 85 degrees there. It's 57 here. What the hell? But I don't mind 57. It's cold, but like, it's better than 85. I like the 70 temperatures, honestly. I really do. But we have Southern Miss getting their first victory against Northwestern State, getting that 64-10 victory. Frank Gore Jr., Frank Gore's son, had 82 yards rushing and 1 TD. Memphis beats Arkansas State to go to 2-1, 44-32. Then we have Charlotte getting the victory to get their first victory of the year, 42-41. Georgia State falls to 0-3. Boston College gets their first victory of the year and hands Maine their third straight loss. Maine is 0-3, surprisingly. Boston College wins 38-17. Come on, Maine, y'all, come on. Robbie. Royale. UCF picks up the big, huge statement victory against Florida Atlantic. Plumlee went off 339 passing yards and 1 TD, and then 121 rushing yards and 2 TDs, and he went in the air. He was like Michael Jordan. He did a flip. Then we got Rice pulling off an upset, honestly. I believe this is a big, big upset because I really did not expect this. Rice beating Louisiana Raging Cajun 33-21. Wow. Wow. Rice is 2-0 at home. Surprising. Then we got Oregon State versus Montana State. Oregon State beating Montana State 68-28. Damn. Oregon State is 3-0 now. Then we have Nevada versus Iowa. It is in delay. Iowa is leading 17-0. Should I watch this live? Oh! Shit! I can't show that on stream. Damn! I'm saving that. His leg went noodly. Damn, that was... Why you send me that? You know I'm streaming. Jeez, that was ugly. It scarred me. Then we got Miami versus Texas A&M. Texas A&M is up 17-6, but Miami is coming down the field hot. Miami is on the Texas A&M 19-yard line. It is 3rd and 7 with 9:40 left in the fourth quarter. Can number 13 Miami pull off the comeback and beat Texas A&M? Then we got San Diego State versus Utah. Number 14 Utah is up 21-0 at half. Cameron Rising, 162 yards, passing in 3 TDs. Then we got Fresno State versus Fresno State versus Fresno State. This is it's a practice game. It's a great game. Just kidding. Then we got Fresno State versus number 7 USC. USC is up 20-3, and they just got a rushing touchdown from Caleb Williams, Oklahoma transfer quarterback. And we have North Dakota going up against North Dakota State. I so apologize. Going up against Arizona. And let's go North Dakota State. 7-7 right now. Beginning of the second quarter. And then we have Eastern Michigan going up against Arizona State. 10-7. Then we have our upset of the day. Upset of the day. 39-28. Washington. Michael Penix Jr., transfer from Indiana, who had that ACL injury and really didn't look the same back in Indiana, now comes over to Washington and improves Washington to 3-0 and getting a big victory. Washington is going to be ranked for sure now in the top 25. Great game for Michael Penix Jr., 397 yards, 4 TDs. That's a huge, huge victory for Washington. They may be in the top 20. That is a big, big, big W for Washington. In Washington, and now they have the same question as Coastal Carolina. Can they win on the road? They have all home wins. That is the update around college football for FBS. And now we will look at FCS real quick. Because remember, we are an FCS channel. I know that this is getting kind of late Eastern time, but I apologize. I have to do this. This is so you guys can watch it in the morning if you need to. Even though we may be live tomorrow morning too. I need my FCS. There we go. So we right now we only have 2 games on, which we already talked about. North Dakota, Dominic Ganella. There we go. San Diego is playing against UC Davis. UC Davis is trying to pick up their first win of the year, and they are up 35-13. Then let's go down now. We have Weber State going starting 3-0 with their 44-14 victory over Utah Tech. Didn't even know that was a school. We already know Oklahoma. We already know them. We already know that game. Already know it. Then we have the game that I was very... Wow, I did not know that they won. Oh my god. Okay. We have 2 games that surprised. There was 3 games for SES that really caught me off guard today. We have Sacred Heart coming in the game as 1-1. Morgan State is going in 0-2. Morgan State beat Sacred Heart 24-9. I still am in awe that Morgan State did it. I did not expect that, to see Sacred Heart go down like that. I was really caught off guard. But congratulations to Morgan State getting their first victory of the year. And we had Richmond getting their second win of the year against Lehigh 30-6. Then we have Bryant, my boy Zevi, going up against Brown. Brown may have the worst stadium in college football. Brown gets the victory in double overtime, 44-38. Bryant falls to 0-3 on the year. They need a big bounce back season. They can't lose another game the rest of the year. They really can't. Brown gets their first game of the year. They get their first W of the year in double overtime. Then we have Montana, the number 2 team in college in FCS football, going up against not even ranked, going up against Indiana State, and Montana showed why they're number 2 team in the country for FCS. 49-14 win for Montana. The Grizzly Bears go down there with Johnson at quarterback, 232 yards, 3 TDs. 3. Bucknell went up against Central Michigan. We already talked about that, you guys. Then we had Princeton going up against Stetson. Princeton beats Stetson 39-14 as they get their first game of the year, Princeton, and they get their first W of the year, and Stetson gets handed their first loss of the year. And Stenstrom from Princeton, quarterback, 256 yards total, 2 TDs. What a game for him. Colgate versus Pennsylvania. And also, you guys, I'm going to sound really stupid, but I really didn't know that there was a V in Pennsylvania. Like, I really didn't know that. Did y'all know that? Tell me in the chat. Did y'all know that? Did y'all know there was a V in Pennsylvania? Because I didn't. I saw that today and I was like, there's a V in Pennsylvania? That is crazy. But Pennsylvania pulls off the victory, 25-14. Colgate goes to 1-2. Pennsylvania gets their first win of the year, and it was their first game of the year. Then we have Georgetown versus Monmouth. Monmouth wins big, 45-6. And then we had my game of the week. Number 11? Number 11 or 12, Delaware. Going up against number 14 or 15, Rhode Island. It's one of I messed those. In Rhode Island, I was caught off guard by how good Delaware is. Nolan Henderson went out there and balled out. He embarrassed Rhode Island's defense. 379 total yards, 4 TDs. Then Townsend, wide receiver at Delaware, 7 receptions, 109 yards, 2 TDs. Delaware went up to Kansas State and Rhode Island and just dominated. They destroyed Rhode Island. They are the kings of the CAA right now. But I feel like that I'm just in awe on how bad that was. Wow. Let's see if Rhode Island can bounce back after that loss. Then we have Albany going against Fordham. Fordham, I believe, is a 21 ranked team in FCS. And damn, Albany, you had it. My boy Elijah Ayers there had the win. But then Fordham showed why that Tim DeMorant is who he is. 464 yards. 5 TDs for him. Wow. Even though Sibley, running back at Albany, had 122 yards and 3 TDs for himself, it wasn't enough to beat Fordham. Fordham is now, they are 3-0, and Albany still doesn't have a win on the season. Then we have Kentucky State versus Dayton. Dayton wins 46-3. Cornell starts their season off against VMI. VMI went into this game 1-1, and they lost 28-22, even though scoring 20 points in the fourth quarter. And it's not looking good for my boy Seth Morgan. He got pulled out again. Cameron, or I forgot his first name, Ironside, had himself a game. Damn. Dartmouth starts their season off. My boy Isaac Boston starts off. He is not playing, so I believe, if I remember him correctly, I apologize if I'm wrong, Isaac. A torn pec, I believe that's what it was. 35-13. They start their season off with a dub. Then we got South Dakota versus Cal Poly. South Dakota gets their first win of the year, and it was at home, 38-21 in the Dakota Dome. Then we have Ball State versus Murray. We already know that. Hampton improves to 3-0 with a 17-7 victory over Norfolk State. Norfolk State falls to 0-3. Grambling versus Jackson State. It looked like it was a good game in the first half. And then going into the second half, Jeez Louise, Jackson State, prime time. Deion Sanders' team puts on a show, 66-24. Shador Sanders, 357 yards, 4 TDs. Then we had Yale versus Holy Cross in Fitton Field in Worcester, Massachusetts. Holy Cross beats Yale to give Yale their first loss of the year and improves to 3-0. 38-14 victory for Holy Cross. Good job, Holy Cross. Delaware State beats Virginia Lynchburg 35-19. Idaho gets their first season victory of the year with a 42-14 victory over Drake. OVO couldn't do it. He got beat by Meek Mill. That's old. If y'all, some of y'all don't even know that watch this. That's my gener. That's just like some beef that happened like 2014 or something over Nicki Minaj. Idaho gets their first victory. Then we had Central Arkansas versus Idaho State, and both Idahos couldn't do it because there's only one Idaho. And Idaho State falls to 0-3, and Central Arkansas picks up their first victory of the year. Austin Peay beats down Alabama and A&M to improve to 3-1, and Alabama A&M goes to 0-3, and Austin Peay improves to beats them 28-3. Then we have UMass. We already know, you guys. Western Carolina versus Presbyterian. Western Carolina beats the sugar off of the Blue Hoses, 77-21. Damn, Western Carolina. Western Carolina improves to 2-1. Good for them. Then we have William & Mary. William & Mary is the 17th ranked team, I think it is, in FCS. 34-7 victory for William & Mary. And Yoder, running back at William & Mary, 134 yards, 3 TDs. Great game for him. Lafayette falls to 1-2 in the year. North Dakota gets the sneaky victory over Northern Arizona, 27-24. Great victory for North Dakota to go to 2-1. And Northern Arizona looking like they have building a great young squad down there. And it's looking good for them for the future. Boise State, we all know, beat UT Martin. Then we have Southern Utah beating Western Illinois. Western Illinois losing those players last year is hurting, you can tell. 17-10. Southern Utah improves to 2-1 after that destroying I think they took from Utah. Then we have St. Francis, Pennsylvania, going up against Wagner. Wagner loses and goes to 0-3 on the season, and St. Francis gets their first win of the year with a 27-7 victory. Sacramento State beats Northern Iowa. Northern Iowa is 0-3 to start the year. Wow. Sacramento State goes to 2-0 with a 37-21 victory on the road at Northern Iowa. Columbia goes to Marist and beats Marist 38-8. Get their first victory of the year. In Marist, I've been to your college. It's a pretty nice college, I'm not gonna lie. A lot of nice brick architectural buildings. I love it. Eastern Kentucky, who is also in the top FCS top 25, beats Charleston Southern 40-17 to go to 2-1 on the season. Charleston Southern falls to 0-3. Chattanooga, who is 3-0, they are in the top 25 for FCS, beats the living hell out of North Alabama 41-14. Good for you, Chattanooga. And then we have North Carolina. Who the hell are you? North Carolina Central going up against New Hampshire. Both teams were 2-0 going to this game. When New Hampshire went out of that with their first loss of the season, giving North Carolina Central the victory with the 45-27 victory. Great game for North Carolina Central. Then my team, Mercer, my boy Todd James, 7 receptions, 138 yards, and 2 TDs. 17-0, Mercer beats the Citadel, improving to 2-1. Great game, Mercer. Let's go. Morehead State also got the dub. I miss my boy BJ playing for Morehead State. But Morehead State gets their first victory. Yes, it was against Kentucky Christian. I don't know who that is. It's a dude named Christian in Kentucky. But what a game we had for Morehead State. 49-14. Damn, Morehead State. Y'all won. I'm so happy. Then we had Elon versus Gardner-Webb. Gardner-Webb loses to Elon 30-24. Damn. Then we had Lamar going up against Northern Colorado. Both these teams looking to get their first win of the season. And Northern Colorado gets it with a 21-14 victory against Lamar. Butler went into this game with 1-1. South Dakota went into this game. Butler went into this game 2-0. South Dakota State went into this game 1-1. South Dakota State was pissed about losing. And they come back and they get the big victory 45-17. Then we have Incarnate Word. That, if you guys are wondering, that's where Cameron Ward, who's at Washington State, the quarterback, came from. Incarnate Ward is 4th or 3rd in, I think it's their 4th in the FCS rankings. They went out there and beat Prairie View A&M 31-14 to improve to 3-0. And Scott Jr., quarterback for Incarnate Ward, they just are producing QBs. 228 yards, 3 TDs. Texas A&M Commerce going up against Sam Houston, and Sam Houston gets their first victory of the year. It took to the 3rd game for Sam Houston to get their first victory. It's not looking good for them because they're going up to the FCS level in the next year. Or FBS level, I apologize. 27-17 victory for Sam Houston. Then we have Tarleton going up against, going up against Eastern New Mexico. Tarleton wins 41-6, 2-1 on the year. Central Connecticut State, a school that I was looking at when I played baseball. I loved their baseball team. Loses to Southeastern Louisiana 70-6. Jeez. Damn, they got 70-pieced. Sanford, who is 25 in the FCS rankings, beats Tennessee Tech 33-28. Great victory for them. Then we have Davidson beating St. Andrews 56-6. Delta State went and beat Mississippi Valley State. Fun fact, Mississippi Valley State is where Jerry Rice is from. Delta State beats Mississippi Valley State 28-17. Delta State is 3-0. Okay, here we go. Then we have Illinois State going up against Eastern Illinois. Illinois State beats Eastern Illinois 35-7. Eastern Illinois is 0-3 on the year. Illinois State is 2-1 on the year now. Furman versus East Tennessee State. Damn. East Tennessee State looks like they've hit a wall. Furman beats them 27-14. East Tennessee falls to 1-2. Furman goes to 2-1. Okay, let's see what games we got to look out for next week. Let me go back to FBS. Let's see what we got next week. Let's go to week 4. That's FCS. I want FBS. Chattanooga versus Illinois. Ooh. That's going to be a game, you guys. We may go live for that game if I'm not working. Gotta give it time. But, wow. There were some pretty good games. Okay, this Thursday, you guys. Look at the games we have slated for September 22nd, Thursday, 2022. Whew! What a 3-game slate we have. At 7:30 p.m. on ESPN, we have West Virginia. West Virginia versus Virginia Tech. West Virginia is 1-2 after getting their victory today, the first victory of the year, and they're going up against Virginia Tech. That's going to be a great game. Coastal Carolina versus Georgia State at 7:30. Coastal Carolina is looking to see. Let's see if they can win on the road. Can Georgia State get their first victory of the season? And what the just happened? Page not found. I didn't even click on anything. You dummies. This is why we say ESPN sucks. They're dog water. Dog water. You hear me? Then we got Chattanooga at 8:30 going up against Illinois. That's going to be, I think, a very, very, very good game. I am excited for that game, honestly. I really am. That is going to be a great game, I think, that most people are going to overlook. And I pressed pause. Then we have, on Friday, we got Virginia versus Syracuse. That could be a really good game on ESPN. I really think that's going to be a very great game. I can't wait to see what the money line, like the spread is for that. Then we have Nevada versus Air Force. Another great game. Both 2-1. Boise State versus UTEP or UTEP. I think Boise State more like I'm just saying. Next week, like more than likely like Thursday, Wednesday, you guys will get a video out for predictions, or I may just go live for them. Then we have Arizona versus California. I'm just looking to see if there's any games that catch my eye. Let's just go down slowly. Indiana versus Cincinnati. That could be a really game that we would see if, like, Cincinnati already played Arkansas. But that would be a game. That's the game that Indiana is going to show if they're really for real with that 3-0 record. Kent State versus Georgia. If Georgia doesn't beat Kent State by at least 50, it's a bad game for Georgia. Maryland versus Michigan. Ooh. Clemson versus Wake Forest. Iowa State versus Baylor. Oh my God. Do I work this week? Do I work Friday, like Saturday? What's the date, y'all? One minute, you guys. I'm just trying to figure out if I work. Which I don't know. I have to look tomorrow. But, yeah. What games we have scheduled? Clemson versus Wake Forest. I better not be scheduled. Because I need it. We got to be live. Rhode Island versus Pittsburgh. Can Rhode Island bounce back at least? Missouri versus Auburn. I think that's going to be a good game because Auburn wants to prove something. Duke versus Kansas. Both teams. Who would have thought both teams would be 3-0? We all thought they would be 0-3. Then we have Buffalo versus Eastern Michigan. UMass versus Temple. I'm hoping UMass can pull it off. Fordham versus Ohio. That is an upset watch. I think Fordham can pull that off. Minnesota versus Michigan State. That's going to be a great game. Florida versus Tennessee. Texas versus Texas Tech. Notre Dame versus North Carolina. James Madison versus App State. Oh my God. All these games next week. Week 4 is loaded. Wow. The first half of the games next week are disgusting. These games are good. Swear to God, I better not be. Oregon versus Washington State next week. Oh my God, that's awesome. Arkansas versus Texas A&M. Iowa versus Rutgers. Marshall, Troy. Louisiana Tech, South Alabama. Vanderbilt, Alabama. That's the game of the week. Vanderbilt versus Alabama. Who y'all got your money on? Me? I got it on Vanderbilt. Yeah, screw it. Vanderbilt for the win. If this happens now, y'all better clip this and post this everywhere. If Vanderbilt wins this. Because, damn. Wow. Then we got Wisconsin, Ohio State. Whew. UConn versus NC State. I'm sorry. Kansas State versus Oklahoma. That's a good. BC versus Florida State. USC versus Oregon State. BYU versus Wyoming. Utah versus Arizona State. Stanford versus Washington. Woo, you guys, we are in for some games. This week 4 is set up to be good. Looks like Texas A&M is going to pull that victory off. With a minute 26 left in the fourth quarter. Looking like it. Okay, let's see now. Let's see what's going on with the FCS week 4. Let's see. Then we will end the live, you guys, after we see what's going on next week in the FCS. Then we'll be live tomorrow morning. Come on, load. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it. You can do it. Come on. Okay. Furman versus Charleston Southern. Harvard versus Brown. That's going to be a good game. Columbia versus Georgetown. Holy Cross versus Colgate. Bryant versus Long Island. Yale versus Cornell. Dartmouth versus Sacred Heart. That's the one I was thinking about going to. North Dakota State versus South Dakota. Marist versus Drake. Stony Brook versus Richmond. South Dakota State versus Missouri State. North Dakota versus Southern Illinois. Stanford versus West Carolina. Those games right there are going to be good. Monmouth versus Villanova. Central Connecticut. Damn. Versus Albany. Montana State versus Eastern Washington. Portland State versus... that's not a good game. Eastern Kentucky versus Austin Peay. That's a good game. New Hampshire versus Townsend. That's a good game. Northern Iowa versus Western Illinois. Maybe a really good game. Mercer versus Gardner-Webb. Gonna be a good game. Hampton versus Delaware. It may be a good game, but from what I saw from Delaware, I don't think it's going to be. I think Delaware is going to prove a point again. Just looking to see if there's any other. Weber versus UC Davis. That could be a good game. Okay. Okay, you guys. That is today. That is the recap of college football of week 3. We will be live tomorrow morning talking about NFL, and we will talk a little bit of college too. We'll go over like the standings and see what's the new Heisman favorites and stuff like that. But thank y'all so much for watching. I really appreciate everyone that tuned in. And until next time, you guys stay safe and make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that like button. Until next time, see ya.